Hey, how are you? Tanja here, leadership and mindset specialist for real estate and property professionals. Happy Monday, having a cup of tea. How was your weekend? How are you feeling? How are you on this Monday, the 6th of April? Wow, this is going fast. Good morning, Suzanne. G'day, Kate. G'day, Brooke. G'day, Sean. Hello, Chris. Looking forward to being of service to you and the team later this morning. And yes, let's jump on a call 10 minutes early. I tried to send you an email before, as I did with you, Kate, and the system was down. So yes, and yes, I'll be in touch very soon. Calm Star, g'day. I want to hear, oh, look at that beautiful rainbow and love and flowers. Awesome. I'd love to hear from you. How are you going in self-isolation? Just type in one word to describe how you are right now. I haven't seen the weather this beautiful in a long time. Oh, good on you, Sean. What a great perspective. So if you've never jumped onto Mindset Mastery Monday before, it's where I just come on to Facebook and Instagram live and share some key distinctions. Morning, Helen. Insights, or just make myself available for live coaching, unscripted, unedited, just of service to give you a raft to rise resilient in times of change and challenge. We've been doing this way before Corona Loco, and what I'm starting to do more is add, good morning, Fiona, add some NLP content to it, which is neuro-linguistic programming, fancy term, just really to describe the functionality of the relationship between our thoughts, beliefs, words, judgments, and assessments. Different. You're feeling different, Kate. Oh, balanced. Suzanne's balanced. Well, it looks like you cooked up a massive amount of food on the weekend. Hello, Rain and Horn, is it? Or Richardson and Wrench, Bondi Junction, can't read. Lael Stone, good morning, love. Looking forward to our digital lunch party. Hi, Melissa, how are you? Hey, girl. Oh, Jen. Hi, Jen, how are you? So, if you've just joined, type in one word to describe how you're feeling right now. So how do I feel? I feel excited and grateful that you're here, that we get to hang out and connect with each other every Monday. Hey, Greg, great to have you here. So let me ask you a question. Inside of self-isolation, how's your communication going? Are you finding, if you're spending time with others, if you live with other people or your family, are you finding that it's like really occurring like Little House on the Prairie and you're all getting along and you're baking bread and knitting and making bed socks and having a great time? Or is there a little bit of argy-bargy? Is there a little bit of fireworks? Is there a little bit of electricity going on? And is there an undercurrent of unexpressed stuff that's also rippling up? Hey, Melissa, great to have you here. Oh, Melissa's refreshed. Nice job, Greg. So, I'm curious. Just let me know, how are your relationships going? Teams, how's your communication with your team in our self-isolation going? I'm curious to hear what the language and communication landscape is like, because now is the time inside of self-isolation where things are really going to bubble up to the surface, because we've got less distraction, we're less busy, we're less consumed by other things, and we're really either forced or encouraged to be with what is. And I am learning a lot about myself, and it's all really awesome. In fact, Emily, g'day. So I'm curious, how's it going? Knock, knock from New Zealand. Hey, Guy, great to have you here. He's flying high. Nice to have you. Ready for a new week, says Helen. So how are you finding communication in self-isolation? That's what I want to hear about, and that's what I want to talk about today. I am choosing to use self-isolation as a time for self-transformation. This is a time where we can really level up during lockdown. And I want to share with you a distinction today that's going to give you access to really improve your communication with others, your communication with yourself, your communication with the outside world, whether it is physically in your home with the people you share it with, whether it is online in the Zoom classroom, or obviously on the phone. And it's not just for now, it's also for the future. You're with me? Stay tuned. Now, feel free to take notes. And of course, there's going to be the video recording of this. If you are not on our email tribe, then please let me know by DMing me on Instagram, or put your email in our Facebook page so you can connect with us and we can just send you an email once a week. Now, in NLP, so write to me, how is the quality of your communication with the people in your lives? Good morning, Joanne. Thank you for your message about our Zoom classroom last night. Actually better. Melissa is saying that the communication is actually better. Melissa, can you share with me why it's actually better? I'm curious. And friends on Instagram, how's the quality of your communication? In NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, the relationship between our thoughts, beliefs, words, actions, and results, there is a saying that says, the meaning of your communication is the response that you get. So I'm going to say that again. The meaning of our communication is the response that we get. G'day, Diane, another person tuning in from New Zealand. Welcome. Now, what that means is, or let me ask you, have you ever been communicating with someone and you're really clear? You're communicating as clear as possible. It's very well intended. You hope it sort of lands a certain way, and the other person fully reacts like you spoke in a foreign language and completely misinterprets what you're saying. Have you ever had that experience, or is it just me? Brooklyn, g'day, good morning. Melissa says, generally work in my own office separate from the team. Now we are Zooming. And how's the quality of your communication on Zoom, Melissa? I'm curious. So have you ever had well-intended, clear communication, like you're communicating X, Brooke Flint, good morning, is saying yes, Sean saying yes, you're like, here it is, I'm saying this, well-intended, really clear, and foreign language, misinterpreted, massive reaction. Has that ever happened? Hey, Kani, great to have you here, my love. Fiona Knight says, good morning, Tanj. Feeling refreshed, relaxed, and spent time with my girls over the weekend. Oh, beautiful. Gaia, sure have. Incredibly frustrating. Yes, that was my next question. How does it make you feel? It is frustrating. It is the whole, where one's talking in AM and one's talking in FM. Well, I think more than ever, the quality of our communication is really critical because we are in self-isolation. We are going to find that stuff that is in the sediment of ourselves that is unexpressed may bubble up to the surface. And this is a wonderful opportunity, I believe, for self-transformation through self-realization around the things that we do that may be effective and ineffective. So this distinction is going to give you access to just be more effective and understanding, potentially more compassionate and kind in our communication. So, as I said, in NLP, there's a saying that says the meaning of your communication is in the response that you get. That means your communication is only truly effective if the response that you get mirrors what you requested. For example, if I say to you, can you please have our database printed and sent to me 4 o'clock on Friday? That's my request. And you go, yes. And 4 o'clock Friday comes and I either don't get it or it's printed on a piece of paper where I actually wanted it printed on a PDF. And emailed to me. Like, the response I get will determine how effective my communication was. But what we tend to do is we don't take responsibility for the way our communication lands. We blame others. Well, you're not listening to me, or you just don't get it, or you're not paying attention. So if you want to be an effective communicator, the first invitation is try on in the fitting room of life that the response that you get is purely a measure of how effective your communication is. And if you're not getting the response that you desire, your communication is ineffective. Does that make sense? Emily, Google Hangouts and Zoom, speaking during the day is important. Everything is in language, 100%. G'day, Willen and EPS 8, great to have you here. We're talking about effective communication and how to level up during lockdown. Melissa saying it's getting better. It's a steep learning curve. G'day, Jessie and Michelle. Great to have you here. Also, Miriam. So I want you to imagine that and an NLP distinction is we are well-intending in our communication and sometimes it lands as ineffective. We don't mean it to be, but the reason is A, your communication may be ineffective, and B, we have 3 filters that we listen and communicate through. And according to Dr. Joe Dispenza, he studies neuroscience, there's literally 400 billion pieces of information coming to you and me and us every second. Can you imagine that? 400 billion pieces of information coming to us every second, and we're trying to be effective in penetrating that noise. Now, our neocortex can only take in 2,000 pieces of information of the 400 billion. Otherwise, we would have absolutely sensory overload and our brains would explode. Does that make sense? Morning, Miriam. By the way, if you're watching this live, type in live. If you're watching record, type in record. Brooke is saying the energy you bring is everything. Yes, you can communicate through energy. Words is only around 7% of what we communicate. So imagine this, you're in the world, 400 billion pieces of information are coming to you every second. Your brain can only process 2,000. And the way you're absorbing your information is visually, like visually I'm here connecting with you now. Auditory, you can hear what I'm saying. Gustatory, I love that word, gustatory, sounds like I need to cheers big carafes of beer or something. Gustatory, that's how we taste information. Olfactory, smell, and kinesthetic, which is feeling. And then the sixth sense is our intuition or our hunches. You can get information beyond the five senses. Thanks, Miriam and Melissa. Awesome. You're with me. Oh, she's live, baby. Awesome. So, hey, Joanna Ferrari. Now, so 400 billion pieces of information coming to us every second. Our brain can only absorb 2,000 pieces. So we have to have some kind of filters. So imagine, if you will, you know when you pan for gold? Well, that's what our brain is doing. It's kind of panning for the gold. What's the stuff that we want to take in based on our values, what's important to us, what matters to us, what we're interested in, what we're not interested in. So there's a lot of information coming and we can only absorb so much. And here is what the filters are. And as I share these filters, I invite you to look for yourself. Which filters can you notice that you listen and communicate from? G'day, Brendan. Congratulations on accepting my Savers Challenge and going out for your walk this morning. So there are three filters that we filter our communication through, and filter number one is delete. That's where we just delete whatever is happening. We just don't even register it. Now let's look at coronavirus, for example. There are people that are just kind of deleting that it's even occurring, and they're going about their business normally. They're sunbaking on St Kilda Beach or Bondi Beach. They're not tuning into the news. They're not following what's happening at all. They are just, it's just like they're in their own world. I would say that would most probably be the majority, but there are people that are just deleting it and they're just going about their business. The second filter is distort. So we can either like just delete information like it's not happening, or we distort information, meaning the information is coming to us, but we blow it out of proportion. We change the way it looks. Now, a lot of that is happening at the moment with coronavirus. The media, generally speaking, are very good at distorting information and dramatizing it, catastrophizing it. Why? Because they have to sell airtime on TV and space on newspapers and space on digital publications. Are you with me? So we distort information. We make it bigger than what it is. We exaggerate it or we minimize it. The third filter that we listen through is generalize, and this is a very common one. Generalize means something may happen and we say, oh, well, that always happens, or you always do that to me, or you never do that to me. My youngest daughter, Amber, and I have a running joke. When she communicates, her and I catch each other and she goes, always, never, everyone, always, which means she knows that she tends to generalize a lot of her communication. So if I say something, she'll go, oh, well, you always say that. And it's actually not true. And it will just be feeding her beliefs, values, opinions, judgments, and assessments of herself. You're with me? Hey, thanks for tuning in. So for 100 billion pieces of information coming to you, 2,000 pieces you're able to process, otherwise it's sensory overload, and you have to sift it through the pans to decide what matters to you and what you'll absorb and what you'll take in. Now, there will be people that will delete, so they'll either delete what's happening with coronavirus, or they'll delete all the positive stuff that's happening and they'll just focus on the negative, the deaths, and they'll hone into this is how many people are dying. rather than focusing on the bell curve is slowing down. This is how many people have actually had the virus and are healthy and alive. I just read this morning a 103-year-old woman survived it. This is the benefits that are happening to the globe. There's been a 25% reduction in emissions in China. You know, dolphins are returning back to the clear waters of Venice. Like, the quality of the air globally is improving. But people will just decipher information based on where they stand and what's important to them. People who like to over dramatize everything, they'll be the ones that will distort everything, and everything is bigger than it needs to be, because that fuels a belief that the world is doomed, that things are tough and everything's bad, and that is going to make you feel completely disempowered. So think for yourself and think about the people in your teams and the people in your family. Are they focusing on the deaths, or are they focusing on the positives? Are they going, what, Corona Loco? Are they distorting reality, or are they generalizing? A very sad generalization for coronavirus is there are some, and I hope this is a minority, that are generalizing Chinese people connected to this issue because it was instigated in Wuhan, I think, I don't know how you say it. And so there are people that are making very racist judgments and generalizations to the Chinese community, which to me is very, very unfortunate. So an example of how this kind of even plays out beyond coronavirus is from a personal perspective. So one of my values, one of my standards is that the house is clean, and the kitchen particularly is clean of a night time, because I love to start my day present. I don't want to wake up to a new day and be cleaning the past. Does that make sense? I don't want to clean the past. I want to be present. So I'll say to my kids, I said to Amber last night, she made like little pastry cheesy twist things, and I was having a magnesium bath and I was going to bed, and I said, honey, can you please make sure that that's tidied up before you go to bed? And sometimes, not always, sometimes I get a reaction. Yeah, Mom, yeah, all right, man, like, rather than sure. And what can happen is when we make requests, sometimes people make it mean something like, what I'm saying is, can you please pack up the cheesy twist stuff? And Amber may hear, Mum, you're so controlling and you don't trust me and you don't think I'm capable of cleaning up. So we add a lot of meaning to what's being communicated. Does that make sense? I'll give you another example. I was in a communication training, and there was a young woman. She was probably 19, 20, early 20s, and she got up on the microphone and we were talking about this distinction. And she said, my dad is so frustrating. Whenever I go and see my dad, he always, every time, right, generalization, says, have you put oil in your car? Is your car serviced? Has your car going? Are your tires, you know? And that's what he's saying. Have you put oil in your car? Is your car serviced? Have your tires got air pressure in them? That's what he's saying. But she hears, right? She's distorting it. She hears, you're irresponsible. You don't know how to look after your car. You're going to damage and break your car. Do you know what he's really, and so she gets pissed off. She gets triggered, she gets angry, she shuts down, she gets defensive, she doesn't want to go back and see dad. Make sense? Here's what he's really saying. I love you, I love you, I love you. I want you to be safe. I want your car to be safe. I don't want anything to happen to you. And I'm responsible for your health because I'm your dad, even though you're a 20-year-old woman. Does that make sense? Do you understand that? So what's Emily written here? What about people locked inside houses whose family is living with the news? Oh, yes, great question. So Emily's asking, what do you do if you're living in a house with a family who's listening to the news 24/7? Well, this now brings me, Emily, onto the 3 options that you can create change, which is another distinction I want to share with you. So the first distinction is there's 3 filters. We delete information that we're not interested in or doesn't align with our values. We distort reality and exaggerate or change things to suit our perspective and our desired outcomes. Or we generalize. We say all people are like this, or, it's always like this, or Italians are all like, or the news is like this. So we generalize. Now, to answer your question, Emily, how do you... and if you've got any questions on those filters, please let me know. And the key is just be mindful of those filters, and just think about, are you deleting information that could be giving you a different perspective? Are you distorting reality and exaggerating things to over dramatize it? And what need is that fulfilling in you? Or are you generalizing? And this happens in real estate a lot. You know, people that have a bad experience with a real estate agent, what do? They wipe all agents with the same paintbrush. All real estate agents are like that. And I think that's unfair. I know amazing agents. The ones I get to work with are phenomenal. But that's what happens. We have an experience and we make a really big decision. And I think that's unfair, and it's very limiting. So, Emily, thank you for providing a great segue for our second distinction, which is 3 ways to create change. There are 3 ways to create change. The first one is your environment. So, Emily, we are challenged right now, being forced in an environment. Good morning, Val. In an environment where you're with others all the time. And so you're going to need space. So you can change your environment, but how do you do that in self-isolation and lockdown? If your family and you share your home with people or friends in a share house, and there are people in the house that are watching the news 24/7 and then discussing it 24/7, and maybe they're distorting or focusing on the doom and gloom and not tuning in to the positive things that are happening, there's so many things that you can do, but I'll offer you some, Emily, if that's okay. I invite you to sit down and have a family powwow and create some agreements inside of shared self-isolation in a shared space. Because when the TV's on, it's going to be there for everyone unless you kind of go in your room and put headphones on. So sit down and have a family powwow to discuss how we're going to commune in a confined space and create some agreements and make requests. So that might be making requests of how much TV is consumed, and ask everyone in the household who is being negatively impacted by this. And rather than just the TV being on, can we all for the next week or a day at least just choose to not have the news on? But if you want to watch the news or what's happening with coronavirus, then watch it on your device with headphones, so other people have the choice as to whether they get to hear it or not. So sit down and have a powwow and just create some agreements inside of shared space and communication. That's a strategy. So one of the 3 ways you can create change is your environment. You can change the way where you live, the room you're in, how you're connecting. The second way to create change is through your behavior. You, Emily, could get up and go into your room, but that's going to not be great for you all the time because you're the one that has to leave. So that's where I invite you to have a conversation. So you can change your environment, where you're sitting, where you're living. In self-isolation and lockdown, that's a little bit tricky. You can change your behavior. You can get up and go and do something else, or try not to be impacted. But there is the key word there, try. As a coach, I am very mindful, and here's the other thing I invite you to try on for yourself. Here's the other thing I encourage you to do for yourself. I just said the word try. If you are saying to yourself, I'll try not to watch the news, or I'll try to eat clean, and I'll try to do savers, or I'll try to exercise, and I'll try to do a Zoom call once a day for friends, or I'll try things. Try like maybe, possibly, potentially, like saloon doors that lack commitment that swing wide open. Does that make sense? So if I said to you right now, try to get up and go to another room, just try to do it, right? You either do or you don't. There's no try. But what we tend to do a lot is we say what we're going to try to do, and it is a trick of our subconscious brain, because our subconscious brain kind of does a Control-Alt-Delete of the word try, and we're getting up early, we're not pressing snooze, we're exercising every morning, we're eating clean, we're not drinking too much alcohol, we're meditating. Like, we hear what we are doing, but we're not doing it, and we're ineffective. So changing your behavior is don't try, do. Yoda says do, don't try. So you can change your behavior. You can move somewhere else, but don't try to do it, do it. It's like I've got a community online at the moment. We're doing Savers, which is this book. Highly recommend. Congratulations to those of you that have just completed week 1 of the 4-week challenge. Savers is a great way to start the day. It's based on the book, The Miracle Morning. can see there, written by Hal Elrod. It's where you practice savers: silence, meditation, affirmation, visualization, exercise, reading and scribing, or gratitude journal. You could try to read the book. You could try to download it. You could try to do savers, or you could do it. Okay, so changing your behavior is one way. The third thing to create change is in your mind or your beliefs. So you can change your environment, you can change your behavior, but the best way to create change is in your mind, changing your perception and changing your beliefs. So that could be altering your perception about the way something is. It could be altering your values to adjust to meet others where they are, if you're willing to compromise. It could be letting go of your memories, and the best way to practice this is bring your imagination to every situation. See, what most of us do is we wake up every day and we have a particular fixed point of view of the way everything is. Your family is the way it is. The day is going to go the way the day is going to go. Work's going to go the way it's going to go. And when we're not in lockdown, we drive down the same road at the same time, drinking the same coffee, wearing the same outfit, pressing the same button on the lift to go in the same room, to put our lunch in the same fridge, to sit at the same desk, to make the, do you know what I mean? And we are just so programmed. So they are the three ways to create change. Now, pretend we're not in lockdown. Many people change jobs, they change relationships, they change their living scenario, they change their clothes, they change their hair, they change their environment. But notice how we repeat the same patterns. Notice how the same patterns happen in a different house, in a different job, with different people, with different haircuts. So real change and transformation doesn't necessarily come from your environment. Then we've got your behaviors. Real change will only happen when you don't try. So to stop trying to change, actually cause a massive change by doing something radically different. These two are really hard to change. The only way you can really create change is by changing your mind, changing your beliefs, opinions, judgments, assessments of yourself, others, and the world. And that is about bringing your imagination to the table newly every day. Hey T, where is your 4-week challenge? It's on Facebook and Instagram. There's nothing to sign up for, Miriam. It's just predominantly on Instagram, actually. I'm sharing that, but also on the Facebook story. So you just read the book. And how do you do the challenge? You type in day 1 of 30, savers done, tag me and I'll high five you, and other people will share it as well. And this, I'm telling you, if you want to create change, this is the way to create change. Emily, does that provide something for you, my love? Hey, Metro, nice to have you here. Sure. Sean says trying equals blocking. Bingo, says Anita. Emily, I changed the living room around. Can't watch TV now, only Netflix. There you go. You changed your environment. Yeah, good on you, Emily. You know, I really believe that this time of self-isolation, my definition is self-transformation. I'm taking this time really, really seriously. I'm not drinking any alcohol. I'm eating super clean. I'm practicing savers every day. Like I'm going to come out here looking like a completely transformed human being, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. We need to level up during lockdown. So hey Steph, how are you, my love? How are things in your neck of the world? Morning, Lloyd. So we covered the 3 filters in how we communicate. We delete information, we distort information, and we generalize information. And consider that communication is the meaning of your communication is the result that you get. If you're ineffective in your communication, you'll be making requests of people and nothing is happening. So consider, you need to alter your communication, A, or B, you'll need to get over there in their world and understand what information are they deleting? Are they distorting anything, or are they generalizing? And when you understand the mechanics of another's mind, you can alter your communication to get an effective result. Does that make sense? Hey, Jag, great to have you here. What are you hearing for yourself? No alcohol, 7K walk daily. Boom, guy, that's bloody awesome. Any questions on the 3 filters? Any questions on the 3 ways that you can create change? You can change your environment, You can change your behavior, do, don't, try, or you can change your mind and bring your imagination. Here's something I invite you to try on for today at least. Pretend you know nothing about the people you live with, the clients you serve, the community, talk about effective communication, the community you live in, the kids that you parent, and yourself. What if you could suspend all beliefs for a day and just come to the day with complete imagination and really create yourself and the people in your world from a place of everyone's working with the best intentions, everyone's communicating to the best of their ability, and try on that everything everyone is saying to you is, I love you, I care for you. How would you respond if that was your reality? What if they delete everything you say? Guy, great question. If you're saying something and another person, I think I know who you're talking about, is literally just deleting everything that you're saying, it's just not in alignment with what matters to them. It's not in alignment with what they value, and it's not part of their core belief system. So when you have a very big mismatch and a lot of friction, it's a values misalignment. And that is one of the reasons that my partner and I recently completed a 20-year marriage, because there was some key things that we did not align with from a values perspective, and they were non-negotiables for both of us. And we agreed that we could no longer stay together with and we're talking a 20-year marriage, my friends, not an easy thing. We could no longer stay together with fundamental values, core values that we were both unwilling to change. Big call, courageous act, but that's what it looks like. But we stay in relationships that don't serve us because we want to be loved, we want to be needed, we want to be seen and met. And if people are pushing back and there's just deleting what you're saying, they may not be the one for you. There's 7 billion people out there. So any other questions, any reflections? What did you hear for yourself around the 3 filters in communication and how we pan for the goal that we desire when we're connecting and communicating? Or what did you hear for yourself around the 3 ways you can create change? And is there any area of your life where you're feeling disempowered? If you are feeling disempowered, I invite you to look at, are you deleting information that could really alter your perspective? Are you distorting reality so things are seeming more catastrophic than they really are? Or are you generalizing your opinions and wiping all people with the same brush, which means that it's a very fixed point of view? You can either have a fixed mindset or a growth mindset. And it is proven that those with a growth mindset, those with, a mind mind is like a parachute. It works best when it's open. The more fixed and opinionated and judgmental we are of ourselves, others, and the world, the more closed our mind is. So I invite you to have an open mind. I'm in the same position, Lisa. You mean that you're in the same position? You're communicating someone and someone is deleting everything that you say? Just different values, or they could be really hurt and they just cannot be with what you're communicating because they cannot hear you, because they are struggling with something. There's a lot of pain there, and perhaps you trigger the pain because maybe they've generalized you as equals pain, and when you show up, boom, there's the cellular memory in the body of pain and hurt. And if you want to learn more about that, read the book Breaking the Habit of Being You by Dr. Joe Dispenza. Phenomenal. I'm listening to this and reading it at the moment again because I didn't finish it the first time. It's pretty full-on book, but super, super inspiring for me anyway. Do. It works. If you work it, you're worth it. I love you. Sounds like a song. Miriam, Savers, looking at for real estate agents now. What does that mean, looking at for real estate agents now? Mindset Mastery, looking at Mindset Mastery for real estate agents now. Yes, I'm still at work. Me, myself, and I, and you have given me plenty to think through today. We'll thrash it out with myself. Happy Monday. Great. All right, I'll sign off there. A couple of quick tips. If you're feeling disempowered, have a look at your filters. Are you deleting other perspectives and information that could open up your mind and give you a whole new reality? Are you distorting the truth either on the news or with the people that you're communicating with, or even your own opinions? Are you generalizing and wiping the brush over everything and everyone so that's just the way it is for you? And if you're doing all of that, you're creating a very closed and fixed mindset. I invite you to open your mind, have it be like a parachute. It works best when it's open, like I shared before, and try on different points of view and different perspectives. And inside of effective communication, when you seek to understand others' points of view before broadcasting your own, you're likely to get a better result. 3, if you're disempowered in yourself right now, there are 3 ways you can create change. Change your environment, your physical environment, or have a family powwow and create some agreements around how much news is consumed, or how much arguing is occurring, or how much creativity is going on. Change your behaviors and don't try. Don't trick your subconscious mind by saying what you'll try to do or what you should be doing. Actually do it or don't do it. And the best way to get access to be empowered is to change your mind. Let go of your fixed opinions, beliefs, judgments, and assessments. And just today, my invitation is imagine. Imagine you didn't have any preconceived ideas, opinions, judgments, and assessments of yourself, others, or the world. What would be possible if you walked through life this way? What would be possible if you looked in the mirror? What would be possible when you picked up that phone? What would be possible when you called your clients? What would be possible in your relationship with your kids or your partner if you just put the guns down, put the opinions down, and just stood in a space of nothing but love and a desire to connect, and you just blocked all of that noise? We literally bring a whole lot of baggage to every situation. That's a big generalization. To many situations. Because when life happens, we make a lot of meaning, and we don't file it in the past. We file it right here and now, and we file it in the future. So if you have a breakup and you generalize an opinion by saying, you never trust women, never trust men, that's a big generalization, where there could be this amazing person around the corner, perfect for you, waiting to share their life with you, but you're just broadcasting, never trust women, never trust men, and you won't energetically attract that which you desire to you. Does that make sense? So homework. Yes, have a look at where you are applying those 3 filters. Have a look at where you can create change in your environment, in your behavior. Don't try, but in your mind, and open your mind like a parachute. Notice all your automatic opinions, judgments, assessments. Just catch it. Start by just being the observer. Just catch it and go, okay, that's one opinion. Try something else on in the fitting room of life. Anything is possible, Melissa, 100 gazillion %. Perfect. Thank you, says Guy. You're very welcome. Nor, says Guy, nor. Ditto, Greg. Me, myself, and I working at home too. I think I forgot to say hey to Jackie. Good morning. Open your mind. Seek to understand. Change 3 ways. Don't try. Change your mind. Let go of preconceived ideas. Be aware. Drop habitual actions. Boom. Carney Paris. Bam, what a great summary. I love you, sister. I know we didn't get to do our follow-up chat yesterday, but it's all good. I love you. We will do that this week for sure. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you found that useful. Please let me know if there's anything in particular that you're struggling with that potentially I can help you with. Please also remember there is a free real estate support line if you're feeling stuck, if you just want to be heard, if you're navigating a situation or you want some support or insight distinctions for transformation. That number is 0413219923. It's free, okay? Also, if you're a leader in a real estate business and you want to use the Zoom classroom and up-level your team in lockdown and transform them in self-isolation, then I'm applying a free half-an-hour training and coaching where we just come online. And I'll give you some tips to elevate your real estate of mind so you can rise resilient in these times of change and challenge. Okay, Chris, Cotton and the team and I are doing that at 10 o'clock today. So yeah, let me know. Did you like this distinction and did you like the NLP information? Because I'm going to be sharing more of this, because more than ever, I believe we need to elevate our real estate of mind and rise resilient in these times of change and challenge, and just be awesome humans to ourselves, others, and the world. Mwah. I love you guys. I'll be live again 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on Instagram and on Facebook this Friday for Rapid Fire Friday, where I reflect on the top one-on-one coaching themes of the week and just rapid fire my tips for you to transform your life personally and professionally. Please DM me if you have a particular question, and please DM me if you want to be on our email tribe and get an email from us once a week with the podcasts and the video recordings of Mindset Mastery Monday and Rapid Fire Friday. And please join our online community that are practicing savers. Get the book The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod, or listen to the audiobook. It's a really simple read. It's really phenomenal. And the way to have a miraculous day is to show up and practice savers. Silence, affirmations, visualization, exercise, reading, gratitude. Whether you do it for 6 minutes or 60 minutes, it's up to you. But if you want to elevate your state, if you want to feel better physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually during these times of chaos and uncertainty, this is the best recipe I know. I promise you, it's a game changer. You will remain unaffected, you will remain clear, you will remain calm, you will feel good about yourself. And you know what the most important thing I believe is? It's not even about actually each individual savers element. The true power, and please listen to this, the true power comes from when you do what you say you're gonna do. Because if you live in a world of shoulds, I should get up, I shouldn't press snooze, I should eat clean, I shouldn't drink, I should drink more water, I should brush my teeth, I should prospect, I should do videos, I should do Zoom classrooms, I should get a coach, I should lose weight. If you should, as Tony Robbins says, you should all over yourself. So start to use this time to get really clear about what your musts are. Because for me, I must do savers every day. And if you're feeling crap, make it a must and join us. Follow me on Instagram, the Tanj Lee. Buy the book, take a photo of the book, practice writing every day, day 1/30, savers done, and let's hold each other accountable for elevating our state, because now more than ever, it's critical. Okay, I love you. Yes, 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 I must. Hey, I must be your word. The best way to be empowered, Emily, is be your word, because that creates massive congruency. The Oracle has this in her kitchen in the Matrix. Honor thyself. The best way to honor thyself, oh, I'm getting triple decker goosebumps, is to be your word. Remember, everything you think and say is creating your reality. So are you creating a reality of what you'll try to do and shoulda, coulda, woulda, gonna, donna? Or are you creating a reality when you say something, that something, boom, manifests? That's the best way to be empowered. More on that to come. I love you. DM me with your personal message if I can support you one-on-one. Call me, contact me through Facebook or Instagram privately. If you are a leader of a team and you want to create a Zoom classroom for free, I'm giving it away to add value to you and your team in these times. And just be a good human. And as always, I end with the words of the late, great Maya Angelou. Thanks for that amazing summary, Carney. That's awesome. Is people will forget what you said. People will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. Now more than ever, make yourself feel good with the quality of your thoughts. Take actions in alignment with what your future self desires. Suspend all belief. Bring your imagination to every day and every relationship. Pretend it's brand new, even a long-term marriage. Have a beautiful day, says Diane. Thank you for charging my battery. You are welcome. Joe, thanks for tuning in. We are just signing off, but you can watch the record soon to be published on Instagram. I love you, friends. See you 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you found this valuable, share it. Tag someone. Let others know. It's for free. It's all for love. Have a beautiful day. I'll see you soon. Signing off on Instagram. Signing off on Facebook. Thanks,